Hi everyone, it's Derek from the iReady podcast here, and this is the reaction video to the 2 each draw away with Motherwell today. Frustration, anger, hope. I don't know what that was, to be honest. Today ultimately it wasn't good enough, was it? First half was just the worst I've seen us play this season. Can I ask for another international break, please? Because these players just were not up for the game today at all. Certainly came out a wee bit better in the second half, but that's no excuse for what they put up in the first half performance. You know, there was no reaction from the Kilmarnock game. We knew Kilmarnock was going to be a hard game. They were a well organised team, but it's well known that Motherwell are not a skillful team at all. They are getting results on the back of basically just being bullies and hacking down teams and being very physical. And today, for most of the game, we made Motherwell look as if they were a very skillful team. Some of these Rangers players are just devoid of the attitude that it requires to be a Rangers player, and certain players, especially the ones who've just been given contracts, need to take a good hard look at themselves because they haven't kicked a ball since they've signed these contracts. First half was an absolute joke, to be honest. You know, we did go a goal down in the 8th minute from a decision which we'll get into about the referee shortly, but it was never a penalty. You clearly offside, and it was a very soft penalty as well. But from there on, we just didn't look up for it at all, and it's been a feature of our players a lot this season. Just did not look interested in trying to play at all. And as I said, we made Motherwell look as if they were a skillful team. They were turning us inside out at some times. There was one occasion when two players, I think Alves was one of them, who's meant to be a centre back, came out to the left wing and tried to, and there was two Rangers players on them, and he turned them inside out, and he got a good cross in, and just fortunately the attacker never got a clean hit on the ball, which would have been a certain goal because Alves again was out of position. It was diabolical play. Shortly after, on the 15th minute, we went 2-0 down as well. Motherwell played the ball up, poor weak touch from Tavernier. He was bullied off the ball by the Motherwell player, took the ball forward and hit a shot into the back of the net from just inside the box. We just got Motherwell just walked through our defence. There was no decent challenges put in anywhere. Alves was nowhere to be seen. Martin just backed off. It was pathetic all round. And you know, as Dave put out on Twitter, you know, people get on the back of Bates. Yeah, he's made a few mistakes, but look at the age of him compared with the experience of Martin and Alves. It's night and day, to be honest. But that's a story for another day. And really, the rest of the half, Motherwell had a few chances, and we ended up the half. I think we only had one shot on target. The midfield were losing out all the time. The defence were getting walked through, and we were offered nothing up front. Windass was completely anonymous. That's the thing. If you're going to play that position where he drops off the attacker and tries to play more of a supporting role, he needs to be seen, and he just doesn't do it. He sits in that pocket just behind the striker sometimes, and he doesn't do enough. So when the midfield don't get the ball forward, he's in no man's land because Morelos is coming too far back. There's nobody up there. Windass is sitting where there is none of the play. And at least with Miller, when he was doing that role, he would get back far enough, and he would be seen. He would be seen to be doing stuff, and that was again part of his problem, is he was dropping too far back, and when we got the ball forward, there was nobody there. Interestingly though, it went into half time and there was no formation changes and there was no personnel changes either, and we did come out the traps fighting. So it goes to show that as much as Murty should have probably changed it in the first half, he never changed it at all going into the second half, and we came out a lot better. So once again, it shows that yes, there's deficiencies there with Murty and his management style and his formations, but it's these players' attitudes a lot of the time. And I think today, once again, put a lot of credence to that, my view in that. Certainly we did get the goal fairly early on, 6 minutes into the first half, with again a penalty that never was. It was probably even a worse decision than the first penalty in the first half for Motherwell. Never a penalty, but maybe that was the referee evening it up, but that still shouldn't be the point. And then we did get a goal 2 minutes later as well. A lovely goal from Murphy. It was great play by Morelos on the right, holds it up, passes on the ground to Murphy on the left, takes the ball into the middle on the edge of the box, hits a shot past the keeper, and it was a fantastic goal. He's got a feature of dragging it one way and then shooting the other way, which defenders seem to not have worked out yet, which is fantastic. But certainly, the rest of the half, we were probably the better team. Motherwell certainly had a few chances. There was a couple of spells when they did start to get a grip in the game again. They had one shot not long after we scored our second, where it was a lovely shot from the edge of the box, and it swirled and hit off the corner of the bar. It was unlucky not to go in. But we were certainly the more dominant team in the second half, which was again frustrating because where was this play in the first half? It needs a bit of belief in the players. The players just seem to want to, the players don't seem to have that belief sometimes, and when they do actually play with a wee bit of confidence, play with a wee bit of swagger, we do actually get a majority of the ball, and we do play well. And I think the second half again proved that today. Again, Murty, he should have changed that a lot earlier. We only made the change because Windass went off injured in the last 10 minutes and Cummins came on. And, I don't care what you say, 10 minutes a lot of the time is not a lot. You can't do a lot in the 10 minutes most of the time, certainly if you're trying to get up to speed with the game. And it was played at a pretty fast pace a lot of the time. But yeah, that's the one thing. Murty should have changed it in the first half, definitely. And I think the second half was crying out for a sub a lot earlier on, a wee bit of change, a wee bit of freshness to it. And it was quite clear that Windass was anonymous all game once again, and it's not good enough. He's obviously, he went off injured today, so we'll see what comes of that. But I think a wee spell on the sidelines is what he needs, and just bringing in some fresh new legs. Obviously, Doran's played the full game today, which he wasn't. Well, the whole team were rubbish in the first half, but he came onto a game in the second half certainly. I'm quite surprised he lasted the full 90. But we've obviously got him coming back, with McCrory coming back as well. So we'll see if there's any fresh legs for the next game. Refereeing performance was absolutely abysmal, and it's once again an advert for a referee that should never get to referee in top flight again until he's had some serious training. The two penalties were never penalties. As I said, the second penalty he gave was an even worse decision than the first. In the first 10-15 minutes, he had given 4 decisions against Rangers that should never have been given against Rangers. Just after Motherwell scored their, I think it was their second or first, I can't remember, first or second, Morelos was fouled in the half of Motherwell. The foul was given against him, he protested it and he got booked for it. Just a crazy refereeing. But once again, there's no surprise in the world of Scottish refereeing. It's shocking, but we live another day with Scottish referees. So as I said, overall, just nobody can be happy with getting a draw out the game. I thought, going into half time, that was the best we could have hoped for, but it's not good enough. And obviously, we were sitting, I think it was 2 points behind Aberdeen going into the game, who had a game in hand. They're playing later on today, so we could be looking at 4th position very shortly. So some of these players need to have a hard look at themselves, and Murty really needs to start having a plan B when things are not working. Even just bringing on subs earlier, he lapsed back into that, but we'll get into that later on. So Dave, as I said in the last pod, he's away off in his holidays in the next couple of days, so there won't be another pod for another few weeks yet, but I'll be back again after the next game for another reaction pod. So thanks for listening, and goodbye.